Hannah Hungate, please head to the podium. students, please take your seats.
Good morning. Well, we made it. I can't believe we're here. I'm Margaret Sova McCabe, Dean of the Law School. Members of the Board of Trustees, honored guests, of course, the class of 2021, your parents, friends, and family, welcome to the 94th commencement of the University of Arkansas School of Law. For those of you who are watching on our live stream, a virtual welcome to you. Please stand for the national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, who throw stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight? O'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets red above thirsty air, they blew through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the whole of the
You may be seated. Today, we celebrate the achievements of our students who are graduating, and we acknowledge the work of the faculty who have helped you achieve this milestone. My first order of business is to have the honor of introducing our platform party. As I make introductions, each member of the platform party will stand and be recognized individually, but I ask that you please hold your applause until all have been presented. From the University of Arkansas System Board of Trustees, we are joined by Ted Dickey, a 96 graduate of the law school. We are also joined by Morrill Harriman, a trustee, JD, class of 1975. Our commencement speaker and distinguished alumnus, former U.S. Secretary of Transportation, Mr. Rodney Slater. The class of 2021's commencement speaker, Hannah Hungate. And as you know, just look around, we have some modifications to our usual graduation ceremony, but I'm so pleased that the faculty that this class elected to help us with the ceremony are able to join us on the stage today. The hooding honor is the Vincent Foster Professor of Legal Ethics and Professional Responsibility, Howard Brill, and Professor Alex Nunn. We also have for the Master of Law in Agriculture and Food, William H. Enfield Professor of Law, Susan Schneider. I'm also so pleased that our student-elected graduation announcers, Professor Angie Doss and Professor Ann Killenbeck, join me on the stage today. Now please join me in thanking these wonderful people for celebrating this day with us and for their many contributions to the law school community. Class of 2021, first and foremost, congratulations. It was wonderful to see you all seeing each other. Some of you, I think, for the first time since March, as you came in today. We're so proud of you. Your commitment to your legal education shows that you have great value for justice and that you'll make a difference in the lives of your communities, of the state, and of course, of the nation. I truly, as Dean, commend you for your resilience and grit over the last 3 semesters. You're just remarkable. And you leave us today, though, with the knowledge, skills, and values that you've worked so hard to master. Upon passing the bar, you will hold the public trust. You will join a noble profession. You will speak for others. You will protect and defend their rights. In so doing, you allow us all to live under the rule of law in a free democracy. I also want you to know that today you become one of more than 6,500 living alumni of this law school, practicing in 50 states and over 20 countries around the world. They populate all branches of government, public service, and of course, private practice. All of them have impact, and so too will you. As I said earlier, we're tremendously proud of you. As you embark on the next phase of your legal career, and that starts today in probably about 45 minutes, we will follow your journey, and we will do so with interest and with pride. So congratulations again. I now turn to recognizing the Class of 2021 Student-Elected Awards and Honors. Awardees, I ask that you stand when your name is read. I begin with the Bogle Sharp Award, most likely to succeed in the practice of law, Julian Sharp. For outstanding contribution to the law school community, Ms. Lexi Acello. I would now like to recognize the Lewis E. Epley Jr. Professor of the Year Award for Excellence in Teaching, Professor Alex Nunn. And of course, now I have the pleasure of introducing your elected class speaker, Ms. Hannah Hungate. Hannah came to the law school following studying for marketing at the University of Arkansas. Some of you know this. She was communications director at Painted Horse Customs Design for 6 years before embarking on her law degree. There, she created successful social media accounts. She analyzed and helped launch the business's second location, and using her marketing skills, she doubled the sales of the company in just 6 years. She didn't slow down when she came to law school, as many of you know. She was a staff editor on the Arkansas Law Review, and she was also part of our transactional law meet team competing in March. From 2019 to 2020, she worked at the Rose Law Firm, where she researched and co-authored 2 articles, one of which has already been published in the Arkansas Business Journal. She's still going. She's also the president of the Business Law Society. She's collaborated with professors, attorneys, students to create meaningful lectures and programming in business law during her time at the law school. She's the recipient of the Arkansas Association of Women Lawyers Bar Preparation Scholarship. And last but certainly not least, when she passes the bar, Hannah will join the Odom Law Firm. So I hope you'll join me in welcoming Hannah Hungate to the podium.
This for a second. All right. Thank you so much for everybody being here today, and thank you so much to my classmates for electing me to speak. I don't want to take too much of your time today because I know we're so ready to walk across that stage and end this great chapter in our lives. But before we do that, I'd like to talk about expectations. There's something we all have. We all have expectations about how things will turn out, who we'll become, and how our lives might be. But sitting before you today, I think everyone in this graduating class can agree on one thing. Law school was not what we expected. And I'm setting aside COVID for all of this because the pandemic threw a wrench into everybody's expectations. So I'm talking about what we expected law school to be. Some of us probably expected law school to be like Legally Blonde, and were sorely disappointed when we weren't winning court cases before even applying to the bar exam. Others probably pictured a mini courtroom drama where we argue a new case every day and find that one legal loophole that our opponents missed. But despite what each of us pictured, we can probably agree on one thing. Law school was not what we expected. It was more. More work, more challenge, more sleepless nights. When we started law school, we didn't expect to spend hours analyzing cases over whether the proper definition of a chicken is a young hen or a stewing bird. We didn't expect how terrifying a cold call will be, or the embarrassment when you don't understand the Pennoyer opinion, even though you read it 7 times. That was my first cold call, by the way. We didn't expect our first memos would come back bleeding red ink because there were more edits than room on the paper. And we didn't expect to fall asleep in the library on our open laptops for several nights in a row during the legal research and writing dreaded brief week. We didn't expect to be competing with each other for every grade, and we certainly didn't expect how hard that would be in a class of such bright and incredible students. We didn't expect to feel like fish out of water at our first internships, getting attorneys coffee and praying we don't accidentally bankrupt the whole firm. We didn't expect to triple check every malpractice rule every time we send an email so we don't get disbarred before even applying to the bar. We didn't expect to feel so overwhelmed with obligations and duties that we had to have a to-do list just to remind ourselves to eat, or that treat ourselves time might be getting 6 hours of sleep tonight instead of 5. And we certainly didn't expect the constant concern that we would make it through here today and make all of you proud. So law school was certainly not what we expected, but it was also more. It was more rewarding, more inspiring, more preparation for the futures and the new lawyers that we were going to be. During our time in law school, we each learned more about ourselves. We built friendships, and we became more of the people and attorneys that we were always meant to be. We didn't expect to walk into orientation and meet the people that would become our future friends, our future colleagues, and for a few in our classes, their future spouses. We didn't expect the class conversations would build lasting friendships, and the little moments we spent together would make for the best law school memories. We didn't expect to sing duets with our professors at karaoke or get dressed up and attend a law school ball. And we didn't expect to look forward to every single bar review where we show up with our friends in footy pajamas or the ugliest of Christmas sweaters. We didn't expect to have such a camaraderie with our classmates, where even though we were technically in competition, we were there for each other, for study groups, for help in classes, for a shoulder to lean on when law school life got especially tough. We didn't expect all the hugs we would have waiting for us when we failed, and we didn't expect all the high fives we would get when we succeeded. We didn't expect to walk right into an amazing community, one that we're going to be a part of for the rest of our lives. We didn't expect the feeling in our chest when we were offered jobs and realized that despite all of our worries, we didn't bankrupt the firms. We haven't been disbarred yet. We actually did okay. We didn't expect the thrilling sensation of acing a cold call or finally doing well on a civil procedure quiz. We didn't expect the rush we would get when the memo we worked on for months came back with a nice work comment from the professor. We didn't expect the fun and accomplishment that comes up with pairing up with one of your best buddies for a law school competition, realizing that you're not too bad at this law stuff. We didn't expect that the constant stress, the failures along the way, and the worry that we weren't good enough were actually incrementally forging strong, competent attorneys before our eyes. We didn't expect the euphoria that would come with finishing our last finals and knowing we really made it. And we certainly didn't expect how bittersweet the moment would be when we stand before you today, wave goodbye to our last 3 years, and step into our bright futures. So as we all move forward and follow the paths we've created for ourselves, you may expect us to be attorneys, judges, or maybe even lawmakers. You may expect us to start our own firms, author court opinions, or even begin our treks straight up to the Supreme Court. But after spending the last 3 years with incredible students sitting before you, I can confidently say that we won't be what you expect. We'll be more. Thank you all so much. God bless, and a big congratulations to the law school class of 2021.
Wasn't that wonderful? I think Hannah really captured the spirit of the class of 2021, as well as the law school experience. Thank you, Hannah. I now have the pleasure of introducing the University of Arkansas School of Law's exceptional alumni, former United States Secretary of Transportation, Mr. Rodney Slater. Secretary Slater is our 1980 graduate. While in law school, he was a charter member and president of the Black Law Student Association, as well as serving as president of the Student Bar Association. As Secretary of Transportation for President Clinton, he promoted a safer, more efficient, and automated, as well as environmentally sustainable worldwide transportation infrastructure. Today, he is not only a partner at Squire Patton Boggs, a full-service law firm with 44 offices in 19 countries across 5 continents, but he also chairs the Squire Patton Boggs Foundation Board of Directors. That foundation promotes the role of public service, public policy work, and pro bono in the practice of law. We here at the University of Arkansas are extremely honored that one of our students each summer receives the Squire Patton Boggs Summer Public Service Fellowship. Secretary Slater is a legend on the Hill and in Washington because of his bipartisan and inclusive approach to problem solving. These attributes have earned him respect not only by many White Houses, but also Congress, business, labor, and political leaders worldwide. In addition to his passion for law and public service and public policy, he's also a founding partner of the Washington Nationals baseball team, 2019 World Series champs. He also serves as chair emeritus of the Nationals Youth Baseball Academy. To me, most importantly perhaps, he is so generous with his time and his talent at our law school and at the university. He has served on the School of Law's Campaign Arkansas Committee, and he returns to campus regularly as a lecturer and serves to mentors of many students and graduates. I have to say, on a personal note, I'm fortunate to be a member of the Dean Circle of the Squire Patton Boggs Foundation. And I always look to Secretary Slater for the inspiring words at our regular meetings in which he challenges deans and law schools. How can you do more good? How can we have a more perfect union? And for all of these reasons, I can think of no one better to deliver our commencement speech today, particularly in these times, than Secretary Rodney Slater. Please help me in welcoming him.
To trustees Dickey and Harriman, Dean McCabe, administrators and faculty, the graduates, parents, and especially mothers as we prepare to celebrate Mother's Day tomorrow. To the grandparents and spouses, and children and other family members here gathered, and friends. It is a pleasure and an honor to be with you at the 2021 commencement exercises for the University of Arkansas School of Law. Class of 2021, on the occasion of your graduation and the 150th anniversary of the University of Arkansas, congratulations. To Hannah and to all of the student award recipients, congratulations. And a special thanks to the dedicated administrators and faculty who tested, who challenged you, your fellow students who commiserated and laughed and rejoiced with you, the family members and the benefactors who supported you in your pursuit of your dreams. My colleagues and I at Squire Patton Boggs are pleased that 4 University of Arkansas School of Law students and graduates now rank among the Squire Patton Boggs Public Policy Fellows. 2018, Katie Rose Martin. 2019, Marion Humphrey Jr. 2020, Madison Miller. 2021, Nathan Quimbo. We also commend Dean McCabe, a member of our Dean's Circle, and we commend the law school for establishing your own public service fellowship program. And I personally appreciate the attention that Dean McCabe has given the Delta region, my home region, and its discussion and grappling with the law as it plans and as the region plans to host a group of law students in the region, Osceola and Pine Bluff to be specific, for Constitution Day programs on September 17th, later this year. Henceforth, the graduates of 2021, commence. Commence to test every lesson learned, to cherish every love enjoyed and every loss endured. Commence. Commence to dare to dream ever bigger. Commence to hope even more profoundly, more intensely, and to love ever more conditionally. Commence. Commence along this next leg of your life's journey with the successes to date and all that they have revealed, and with the failures to date and all that they have taught you. Commence. Commence with the added experience of law school, cases, as Hannah noted, examined and assessed and briefed and argued and re-argued and summarized in preparation for exams and also in contemplation of the bar. These cases and judicial opinions, now lifelong companions, ever referenced as you prepare to make your imprint on the law and the lives and fortunes of your clients, and as you prepare to participate in the enduring striving of a yet relatively young but tested nation. In the words of President Biden's inaugural poet, 23-year-old Amanda Gordon, somehow we have weathered and we have witnessed a nation that isn't broken, but simply unfinished. And as President Biden said in his own words, disagreement cannot lead to disunion. I will be the president for all Americans, and I promise you, I will fight as hard for those who voted against me as I will fight for those who did. Graduates of 2021, go forth. Commence in this time of uncertainty, of racial and social conflict and reconciliation. Commence with the assurance that your law school, the University of Arkansas School of Law, is now in the home stretch as it prepares for its centennial celebration in but 3 years, 2024. A law school that, more than a half century ago, became the first Southern school to admit an African American. Ashtown resident Silas Hunt admitted on a chilly Monday, February day of February 2nd, 1948. The first such university to do so since Reconstruction without the need of a court order. And I might add this as an aside, and especially for our Board of Trustees members. Also in Little Rock, the medical school was admitting Edith Irby Jones a few months later as the first woman to go to an integrated classes in the South as well. This story of Silas Hunt is so powerful in the annals of legal education that former Supreme Court Justice Sandra Day O'Connor, the first woman to sit on the Supreme Court, referenced it in her remarks when she spoke at the dedication ceremony here for a new wing of the law school in October of 2008. And she did it in talking about her own experiences just a few years later as she was navigating law school and the expectations, yes, of society. Silas Hunt was followed in admission at the law school by Jackie Shropshire in the fall of 1948, and George Williford Boyce Haley and C.C. Mercer in the fall of 1949, and Wiley Branton in the spring of 1950, and George Howard Jr. in the fall of 1950. The six pioneers, as we have come to know them collectively. And this year, your graduation year, is the 70th anniversary of Jackie Shropshire's completion of his matriculation at the law school, becoming the first African American to graduate from the University of Arkansas School of Law June 9th, 1951. Silas Hunt received a posthumous degree in 2008. Well, from Silas Hunt's historic fight in the pivotal Battle of the Bulge in World War II to his untimely death at age 29 in the spring of 1949, to the appearances of the 5 surviving pioneers in every court at every level, including the United States Supreme Court, with one serving on the federal bench, one serving as an ambassador, many of them counsels to presidents and senators and other state and local officials, one a dean of the historic Howard University School of Law, and yes, friendships and partnerships with practically every leader of the modern-day civil rights community and movement, including Dr. King and Justice Thurgood Marshall. The 6 pioneers served with distinction and acclaim and courage, as is expected of all graduates of the University of Arkansas School of Law. In service to their clients and constituents and their country, they gave their all, as we are all committed to do. And so, the class of 2021 commence with the lessons learned from COVID-19, the experiences of the year 2020, and all of the uncertainties overcome, the opportunities embraced, and yes, some unfortunately tossed aside, and the emotional roller coasters tamed. And death, as ever present as life, seemed to be even more so. Grief and loneliness and isolation for some, Zoom fatigue and mask anxiety, and the paralyzing dread of the unknown for others. But lessons notwithstanding, perhaps to treasure life more with all of its vicissitudes. to cherish more relationships, and there's sometimes drama, to listen more carefully to the sounds of silence and the blessings of solitude, a good and noble cause embraced, purpose embraced, the rigor of hard work endured. These are activities that are their own reward. And yes, elections won and lost, victories realized, defeats endured, democracy and the rule of law and our patience tested and tested again. May 25th, 2020, the death of George Floyd, a summer of protests, a historic presidential election with a record of more than 159 million votes cast. January 6th, 2021, the security of our nation's capital breached, the citadel of our democracy sullied, our democracy tested, and Lady Liberty's head bloodied but unbowed. An election certified, a quest to become a more perfect union ongoing. Commence with the knowledge that you, as newly minted graduates of the law school, will be called upon, especially in these times, to help our nation navigate the journey of democracy, a task requiring eternal vigilance. Commence in keeping the words of the 42nd President, William Jefferson Clinton, in mind, a former professor of Trustee Harriman here at the law school. Keep these words ever present, that there is, quote, nothing wrong with America that cannot be cured by what is right with America. As you, the class of 2021, venture forth, it is not certain what the future holds. Hannah noted that. But as is the testimony of many and the custom of many, many more, there is comfort in knowing who holds the future and that we are his own. No, we cannot be certain of the future, but we have the blessed assurance of being able to contend with it, whatever it may bring to us, because of all that we brought to law school years ago: family values and support, our own internal compass of integrity, a quest for virtue, a commitment to scholarship, a strong work ethic, perception, and pertinacity, grit, resilience. These are two things that Cassandra and I emphasize with our law school and business school daughter, Bridget, all the time. Traits that are hard to measure, difficult sometimes to gauge, but never, ever without positive results. Marcus Aurelius, in Meditations, his musings to himself, said, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." Perception, pertinacity, grit, resilience, in a nutshell. Perception. How do we assess and judge and value and address the opportunity of the moment? Do we even see it as an opportunity or an obstacle? Something standing in the way? Fears. A condition of birth. Ability or inability. The stars, fate, what have you. Perception. What do we see and how do we decide what it means? Thoreau noted that it matters not so much what you look at, but what you see. Pertinacity, grit, resilience. How do you muster the courage to act on what you perceive? What would you do were you sure that your actions would be fruitful or successful? What would you do? Then do that. What stands in the way becomes the way. Marcus Aurelius, to be sure, but also my faithful grandmother's, and I'm sure yours as well. Now, Lord, don't you move my mountain. You just give me the strength to climb. And Lord, don't you take away my stumbling block. You just lead me all around. When I entered law school in the fall of 1977, 44 years ago, I was fairly confident of this day, a day that is now yours, graduation day, the opportunity to commence. I must admit, however, that I had little appreciation for what that would entail. But I do remember the words of my law school admission essay about seeing myself in a dream and demonstrating that we could lead as well as follow, govern as well as be governed, teach as well as be taught. And so as you continue your life's journey in search for purpose, the pursuit of happiness, and even a sense of greatness, may the words of Tennyson in his epic poem Ulysses be your constant motivation to strive, to seek, to find, and not to yield. And may you ever hold high and sacred the power and purpose of the founder's promise. We the people, the first three words in our principal governing document for the nation, the Constitution. And may you forever seek to embrace and to embody Lincoln's humanness and his grace, with malice towards none, with charity to all, with firmness in the right as God has given us to see the right. Let us strive to finish the work that we are in, to bind up our nation's wounds. Commence.
Thank you so much, Secretary Slater. Those were really inspiring words and a wonderful revisiting of the history, the proud history of the law school. And as I said earlier, you're about to become alumni of this great law school. So at this stage, I'm going to confer the degrees. Graduates, please stand. Upon the recommendation of the faculty and by virtue of the authority vested in me by the University System Board of Trustees, I hereby confer upon each of you the degree indicated on your diploma with all the rights, privileges, and responsibilities pertaining thereto. You may now move your tassel over to your left eye. Yep. You may be seated. In just a moment, we will present the candidates. I want to remind everybody that on June 8th, we will recognize academic honors and awards. Today, you will note graduates crossing the stage with a variety of stoles, cords, and medallions signifying their service and involvement during law school. Congratulations to you all. We will now present the candidates for the degrees. As you exit the stage, you will proceed back to get your photo taken. Still photographs of commencement are available after graduation. Ordering information will be sent to each graduate. First, we will confer degrees to our Master of Law candidates. LLM candidates, please make your way to the stage.
Amy Joy Allen. Garrett Blake Jackson. Kyla Kaplan.
Again, congratulations to our LLM graduates today. We will now present the Juris Doctor candidates. Please stand and make your way to the stage, and the same thing, as you exit the stage, you'll have your photograph taken, and then you may return to your seats so that you can see your peers graduate. Let's get started.
Anna Rachel Vanderlyke, cum laude.
Lexi Rain Acello. William Alex Allred. Amanda Apple. Nate Arrington. Courtney Jane Baltz. Hunter Bedell. Sean Belcher. Nicholas Austin Bell. Shari Alexandria Bell. Alexis Elizabeth Bibbs. Jordan Blackwood. Matthew Thomas Blissett. Sarah Jane Breeding. Braden Thomas Brown. Madison Brown. Miriam Greer Bryant. Brenly McPherson Berge, cum laude. Channing Bird. Kara Butler. Alicia Canfield. Christy Capel. Charles Joshua Sella. Connor A. Ciesla. Quentin Clay. Margaret King Davis. Mary Abigail Dellinger. Samantha Dillahunty. Derek Dillard. Laura Edmondson. Ashley Edwards. Caitlin Quinn Epperson Hohenstein. Marissa Fennell. Dawson C. Floyd. Lauren Nicole Ford. Sydney Devon Ford. Todd Benjamin Fowler. Brittany Lynn Gregg. Jackson Todd Hanna. Buzz Hardin. Mara Lee Hain. Hannah Frances Hines. Harper Lee Hudson. Dalton Herkamp. Marion Andrew Humphrey, Jr. Hannah Lucille Hungate. Corey Reese Ingram. Levi Jeffries. Arthur Jefferson. Emily Kapp. Byron Keaton. Jennifer Nicole Keys. William Hudson King. Jessica Ray Kloss. Sarah Koch. Megan Locke. Kara Lambert. Meredith Grace Lattenzer. David Walter Lee. Emily Eileen Levy. Annie Kate Lipscomb.
Blake Marsh, Jr. Penny Maxbury. Dawson Price McGonigal. Robert J. Mitchells. Joseph John Molinaro, Jr. Leland Moorhead. Adam Ross Mode. Badria Carol Miriam. Danielle Newell. Macy Knuckles. Chase Opolka. Pierce Phillips. John Ashton Pickell. Justin Prather. Brinna Rivas. Nathan Scott Robertson. Daniel Rodriguez. Courtney Elizabeth Ross. Caden Ryan. Kyle Ryan. Leanna Michelle Hubbard. Zachary Sacco. Jordan Taylor Sharp. Julian Sharp. Amber Lynn Smith. Hannah Margaret Smith. Schaefer Neil Stanley. Clinton Todd Summers. Brooke Lauren Taylor. Charlton F. Troutner. Sterling Woodward Tucker III. Ronald Wendell Turley III. Rebecca Page Verhoek. Caleb D. Ward. Kyle Ward. Matthew Ward. Maria Catherine Whitaker. Wesley Wayne Wishman. Ashley Grace Spinazzi. Tip Wara. Hayden Wyatt. Mary Catherine Wiley. Anna Nicole Tanselli. James Dillon Price.
We'll just wait a moment for a few of our graduates to return to their seats. Here they come. Wonderful. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the University of Arkansas School of Law Class of 2021. I love that support out there for our graduates. We're going to recognize a few more very important people to this class before we conclude today. First, I would like to recognize the Sidney Davis Jr. Professor of Law, Mary Beth Matthews, for 35 years of service to the law school. This class is her last class, and we appreciate all that you've done for the law school. And graduates, now your turn. Your success is possible, of course, because of your hard work and your commitment and the time that you put in and the sacrifices you made. But so many are here with you today or watching online who also sacrificed, supported, loved, and provided resources. And so let's take a moment to thank all of them, in particular, the mothers. I would also like to thank the faculty, staff, and student volunteers who helped make the ceremony a success. As we know, at one time we didn't think we would be able to gather today, and I'm so pleased that we were able to. Guests, your graduates will meet you following the recessional outside the Barnhill Arena. And I just wish you all the best. Class of 2021, commence. And to the families, thank you so much for being here. Enjoy the weekend. Congratulations all.